Hey guys, good morning. Tony here. So ADA did break that $2 mark, which is pretty crazy. It actually broke it a little bit earlier than I thought. I thought it was gonna break it closer to around midnight or so. Um, it ended up breaking that $2 price closer. Actually, wait, never mind. Yeah, it broke it around 1 o'clock in the morning. But I think it touched 1.99 at 17. Was that like 5 o'clock p.m.? So it actually touched, um, what is that? What's that? Yeah, 5 p.m. PST. So it actually touched almost $2. So it touched 1.99 at 5 p.m., which is fantastic. And again, it kind of stayed trading between that range at 199, a little bit under that, um, at 4 hours later, which is 9 o'clock. But then at 12 o'clock, or possibly anywhere between the time frame of after, what is it, 21? So after 9 p.m. to like 1 in the morning. Well, yeah, so anywhere from 9 p.m. to 1 in the morning, it actually ended up breaking that $2 mark. So when it actually did break it was at one. Did it break it at 1 in the morning? Really? Highs. I mean, supposedly it broke it back here at around 9, 10 o'clock at night. But it says that the highs are only 1.9, whereas the actual break happened at 1 o'clock in the morning today. So generally still pretty close to what I was talking about, like around midnight or something, or like by today morning, really, right? Um, it looks like there's still a lot of room to push to the upside, man. Look at that. Like we're still pretty strong on the bullish side on the 4 hour, and also on the Stoke, we're still on the overbought section. So again, I would not be surprised if ADA keeps running to 2.3 right now. And the same kind of goes for Bitcoin and Ethereum. They both have obvious breaks and resistance. So for Bitcoin, it's actually here at, I'll go down to the daily. There you go. So for Bitcoin, the break of resistance was back here at 4,500, which I told you guys like 2, 3 weeks ago when I released the TA. I'm like, I think it was down here, and it broke resistance. So it might have been July 30th or something, where I was like, you know what, like it already broke resistance. I'm like 95% sure we're gonna hit 45,000, and then we retraced a little bit. Like I told you guys, I was like, we're either gonna shoot up or we're gonna go back down and retrace. I actually thought we were gonna retrace back here to 40,000 and then run to the upside, but we actually retraced a little bit closer to previous support and then ran. But again, we have that retrace. We have that retrace right. We actually have that break of resistance right here on August 9th. And all we've been doing really has been trading sideways. We had that break, the retrace here back to 4,500, actually lows of closer to 4,400. And I think the same thing's happening. We're going to go back up to the upside. It looks, even on the daily, right? The daily looks like we're going to break bullish on the upside. And if I had to guess, we're probably going to make another move of, you know what, from 39, we did what? 46. So I'd say we can easily have another move of like another $6,000-7,000 from here, from 46. So that would put us possibly here, like 50,000, 52,000. So the next trading range that we can possibly see once that day crosses on the bullish side, we can probably go back to 50, 52K, somewhere around this range. It definitely looks like it can be headed that way. But again, keep in mind, ADA's doing the same thing. ADA's breaking to the upside pretty hard. What about an Ethereum right now is leading the way. It's still not. See, look, I gave you guys this trading range, right? I said as long as we stay between this trading range, we're not going anywhere. What happened? We actually broke this trading range to the downside, but what happened? All we did was wick. All we did was wick to the downside. That's it. And look what happened right there. We have a perfect on the daily. We have a perfect stop at the daily right here, the candle stop, right? We didn't actually break down. We just wicked down there, which is perfectly fine. We wicked again, and then all we did was just stay in this trading range. So, like I said, I think, like I told you guys before too, I think Ethereum is gonna hit 3,500, possibly this weekend. Everything is looking super bullish going into this weekend. The 4 hour on Ethereum still looks like it could run up a little bit higher. I think once it breaks this resistance from this trading range, I think it's gonna head up. But I mean, I already knew that it was gonna go to 3,500 as soon as it broke this. So as soon as it broke resistance of 28 something, it was going to be maybe trading sideways, trading up and down, whatever, but eventually it's going to go to the upside. That's what I think. Yeah, there's a small trading range here, but I don't call this resistance. I don't call this support. I only use weekly support and resistance, because once this gets broken, it can probably trade sideways like this for a while, but eventually it's going to go to the next resistance on the upside. That's what I see 99% of 95% of the time. Once that resistance gets broken, you might trade sideways for a while, but eventually it's going to go back up to, 35,800, right? A lot of the times when something like this happens is, I'll give you guys an example of how this works. Just to kind of give you guys an idea, like 95% of the time that I see, right? I see this. So you have price trading here. Wow, did I really just hit the text? That's so funny. Brush, that's what I was looking for. Oh, oops, I don't want that. So what usually happens is it ends up doing something like this. So it ends up breaking, it goes really high, and then it kind of comes back down and then trying to trade sideways. But eventually it's gonna go back up to that high that it did initially when it broke this resistance, right? So eventually it's gonna come up to that high. That's usually what happens. Usually you have a huge break in price. A lot of the times what happens is you have a huge break in resistance. It goes up, calms down, trades sideways for a little bit, and then goes back up to test this. It usually throws a wick up there. So it goes up here, it closes the candle somewhere in this section right here, right in the middle, and then it just wicks up there. But then it just shoots right back down, trades sideways, and then goes up. But again, that's usually what happens like 95% of the time when it has resistance. So again, runs up, comes back down, and then just kind of trade in this range. But as soon as this resistance gets broken, the probability of it going to 35 goes up to like 95%. Like it gets really, really high that it's going to go up there eventually. It might take a while, but the probability of it getting up there is pretty high. So yeah, for the most part, ADA's running. ADA passed $2, which is pretty nice, and it's still at $2.05. And it actually hit highs of what, almost $2.10. So we're still not exactly where I thought I was gonna wake up, and I told you guys yesterday when I did the TA on ADA that I would not be surprised to see it at $2.10 or so, which would have been my price target for the morning, right? Which I would think is maybe like another 3-4 hours or so, which is considered the morning. But yeah, $2 was broken almost exactly at midnight, or a little bit after. It was broken at 1 o'clock in the morning, which is fantastic. But I think right now, as far as the top 10 crypto, I do still think Ethereum is leading the way, but ADA is really, really starting to run, and I'm starting to think that ADA is the one leading, and Ethereum and Bitcoin are the one following, because ADA is only about 20% away from its all-time high. And Ethereum and Bitcoin are definitely behind at somewhat of a smaller range of like they're like 40% away from all time high. I think Bitcoin's at like 39, Ethereum is at like maybe 35% away from all time highs, and then ADA is a little bit under 20% from all time highs. But again, ADA would still kind of be considered an altcoin, but I think if I had to guess on which crypto would actually be up there with Bitcoin, because right now the two big boys, right? The two big names are gonna be right now Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? I don't think Ethereum is an altcoin anymore. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. Like Ethereum would not be considered an altcoin. Ethereum would now be considered one of the big two, But keep in mind, look at FAANG, for example. FAANG is top 5, right? You have, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, whatever. You can definitely have a top set of coins that are, that you always kind of invest in, and you just kind of keep long term. And I do think ADA is going to be one of them. I think it's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA. I think it's possibly going to be Chainlink. And if I had to take a wild guess, I would think that maybe XRP can go up there. Honestly, I still don't hold any XRP. I don't know too much about the project yet, but from what I've heard, I can definitely see the top 5 being those, and then everything else is like its own thing. But Bitcoin, Ethereum, I do think ADA is going to be the third top crypto eventually. I think ADA is gonna end up being in the same, same stature and pedestal as people put Bitcoin and Ethereum on it, and for good reason, right? Bitcoin is the original, Ethereum is the tech, and Cardano is kind of like a Ethereum competitor, which is always fantastic to have. But I do think apart from that, I do think that maybe Chainlink and XRP have a solid chance of being number 4 and number 5. If you guys think there's another position that can possibly fill the 4th and 5th spot of the top 5 cryptos, that would move up to that Bitcoin and Ethereum tier, because there's no other crypto that compares with Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's basically like saying, Apple and Amazon, Microsoft, whatever. And that same tier for stocks, for the FAANG companies like big tech, you have right now Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's nobody that compares. And I think ADA is going to be the hard third comparison. I think ADA is going to go up there eventually, or it's going to be there. I personally think ADA is going to be there. And what's number 4 and number 5? That's the big question. 4 and number 5 are still open. I think ADA, is almost guaranteed to have that third position. But you still have the 4th and 5th position. What is essentially the FAANG of crypto and the blockchain market, right? But I think I talked a little bit too much, but I'll cut the video. But yeah, ADA over $2. I still think, and it's still running, right? I think it's gonna hit $2.30 sometime in the next 2 weeks or so, just from looking at how it's running and how bullish it is right now. But yeah, I think right now Bitcoin and Ethereum are basically trailing ADA. ADA hit over $2 at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'll see you guys later.